scared, I encourage you to watch in the middle of the night with all the lights turned off and no one around, okay?
I'll get it going after the program. Really looking forward to
it. All right, have a good night. And let's take another call here. Hello, you're on the air. Hello,
hey,
you're on the air. Hi.
What's going on?
Well, we're talking about the X-Files tonight. Who am I speaking with?
Charlie.
Charlie. You, the ever-breathless Charlie.
Hey, did you, oh my God, did you like the one with, they went to a picnic, Mulder and,
and Scully?
The one where they went to the, I think it was, the park, and then they saw the UFO, and then, oh Jesus,
it's all right.
Sorry.
Take a deep breath. It's perfectly natural to be nervous on the radio. It's okay.
I'm sorry about that.
But
so did you like it? Did you like that one?
I've seen all the episodes, but right now, off the top of my head, I don't recall Mulder and Scully having a picnic.
Hey, how did you get ready? Like, how did you get prepared for the show? For, like, Chris Carter? Did you read a lot of, books and stuff?
No, I didn't read a lot of books. I did watch the episodes, and I read a lot about him. I read a lot of recent interviews that he's done.
You were really praising him. I mean, totally, like, really too much. Like, I mean, my God, I thought you were going to bake a cake for him or something. Like, you were like a fangirl or something.
Yes.
Well, you don't have to be that, supportive or something.
Why not?
Just because the guy's on the radio show doesn't mean you have to jump on his, But I mean.
No,
but anyways,
I don't know what you mean. I'm a big fan of the X-Files, and he created it. Do you have a problem?
Yeah, the problem is you don't have to, agree with everything and stuff. But that's another point, I guess, for another show.
Well, I don't have a problem with Chris Carter. Do you?
Hey,
you sound like you have a problem with Chris Carter. Come on, spill it. What's your problem with Chris Carter?
Hey, did you ever?
Don't avoid the question.
Go to the picnic or at a cemetery?
No, because if you have a problem with Chris Carter, then I don't see how we could possibly ever go to a park with a picnic.
No, I think you're totally misunderstanding. It's not a problem with Chris Carter. It's a problem with you. It's a problem with your interviewing skills.
Oh?
I guess, because just because a guest is on your radio show doesn't mean you always have to, I mean, my God, I thought you were going to, like, jump out of an airplane with Chris Carter naked. I mean, everything he was saying, you were like,
actually, that sounds like a hell of a time right there. No. Stop. Charlie, no, stop for just a second. I would jump out of a plane with Chris Carter if he invited me. I don't think that's a bad idea at all. That sounds like a great time. That sounds like more fun than a picnic in a cemetery. But I do appreciate the call, Charlie. And let's keep moving on here. Hello, you're on the air.
Roswell, Heather.
Appreciate that. Who am I talking to?
You're talking from Paul from Kentucky.
Hi, Paul from Kentucky. How's Kentucky tonight?
Warmer.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as to the X-Files,
yeah.
I absolutely loved the original series. Look forward to the new series. And I had a favorite episode.
Which one?
And, well, I don't recall the one, but it was where they found all the graves that were skeletons in a railroad car or something underground.
Oh, I remember that one. I don't remember the title off the top of my head, but yes, there was a railroad car buried, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes.
That is quite correct. And I can't remember the title, but I didn't care for it due to an early experience, which I think you might be familiar with me.
Mm-hmm.
And having dealt with one as a young man, and having no way to explain it, and nothing more than my own word and the question of my sanity. When I looked at it again, I felt that same absolutely helpless paralysis. And for a macho young man that stands 6'4 3/4" and outweighed Arnold, I have nothing heroic to say about what I did. I collapsed.
It scared even you.
Oh, I don't know if I'm that brave, but I collapsed. The actual psychological explanation is xenomorphic shock. I knew what I looked at didn't belong on this earth. And so I collapsed. And when I saw that same pile of these, very well drafted skeletons, I had a queasy gut reaction, and it really, made me reach over and grab my Belgian sheepdog and pull him a bit closer.
Well, I bet you're not alone, Paul. I bet there's a lot of people who watch the X-Files and relate strongly to it, and they recognize their own experiences as soon as they watch it. And I think it's very important that there is a show like that that brings these topics to the mainstream, gets these topics spoken about, brings them to the mainstream conversation, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. I think the quest that I went on, because as a very young man, my father was indirectly connected with Thomas Mantell, and then later, as a child, I have very good memory, at least backward. He was talking to a barber, and they were both old soldiers. And the barber was an air sergeant who was a driver for one of the officers in Project Twinkle. And he was a barber, and he had signed the secrecy oath, and my father was a cavalry officer, 4-footed, born 1903 in Kentucky. I came along late when he was 50. And they had a discourse that they thought was going over my head due to my age about a UFO flap in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad said, as Masons do, on the square read, "Is there anything to this? You were the Air Force." And he said, point blankly, "Jess," my father's name was Jesse, "if I could tell you the truth, which I can't, and I don't think I will outlive my exit oath, that you would not ever leave your house at night." And that started me at a very early age reading everything from Minsky to all the rest, looking at every photograph, even drove me to be a photographer.
Do you believe, do you unequivocally, absolutely, positively believe?
Absolutely.
You do. You're sure of it. No one can shake you. You know that this is a real thing going on.
As much as I believe in Almighty God, I believe that we are not alone, that we are visited, and I question that this visitation is benevolent. And the reason I question it is its secrecy, its effect on the human race, and the fact that they don't simply come down and say, "Here we are."
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to talk to you and I slithered around in the dark and I tracked you and stalked you, wouldn't you look at me as being a bad thing?
I would question your motives.
Absolutely.
I would definitely question your motives. But you know what, Paul? You bring up a very important topic that we should talk about tonight, and that is everyone's encounter experiences. I told Chris about the UFO that I saw. You've told me about your experience. How about, what do you think about this, Paul? We hear about everyone's encounters tonight.
Absolutely.
While we're talking about the X-Files. You think it's cool?
I think it's cool. And I'm going to get off the line. I've taken enough of your time. You're doing great. Just keep doing what you're doing. Wait for my email to you on my look into hell. It's coming.
All right. I do look forward to that. And I didn't forget.
Oh, I haven't either.
I did not forget. I'm sure you never will.
It happened 28 years ago.
All right. I'm going to look for that. And don't be surprised when I get your email if I share it with the audience.
Oh, no objection whatsoever. I am transparent. You will get, along with my email, my academic credentials, something about my background, and my wife's, who shared many supernatural and unnatural events in what I call Kentucky's Bermuda Triangle, Sleepy Hollow.
All right. I look forward to it.
All right. Have a good night.
You too, Paul. Enjoy. Thank you very much. We are in the middle of open lines right now. I'd love to hear from everyone your UFO sightings, your encounters, if you've had one, your favorite X-Files episodes. What makes you believe? That's what I'm really after tonight. If there is something that has happened to you that makes you believe, I want to know. That's what the X-Files is all about, isn't it? The truth is out there. Well, 575-233-8008 is the number to the program. You can reach me on Skype. MITD11 is what you search up to find me. And you can add me to your contact list. I don't have to add you. And then just hit the button and give me a call. Although I do recommend that you use the Skype Echo service to listen to your audio. Make sure it's good before you give me a call.